to the Crazy Hockey Dads podcast, episode number 21.
21.
Man, crazy
Yeah.
town, you know?
I will say just a debate in the house recently has been, well, actually, no one's debating it. I'm just giving my kids a hard time, especially my daughter. But I said to her, why is it? It's like 33, 22. Shouldn't it be 1-1?
My kids have had this conversation too.
And, they're convinced it should definitely be 11. I think 1-1 has a reasonable argument there.
There is a very funny Saturday Night Live skit called Washington's Dream,
okay.
part 1 and part 2. Okay. He makes fun of like our different system of weights and measures compared to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And then in the part 2, he references the English language, right? And how we have like ridiculous like ways of saying things.
Totally.
It's very funny. You should look at it.
Yeah, there's a really funny skit by, remember that comedian Gallagher?
Yeah.
So he does like this whole thing where he's holding up like a like the scoreboards that you flip over with
the old school from high school.
Totally a wreck or whatever. So he has one with like letters on it, and he's flipping over. He has this whole skit with how ridiculous the English language is, and how if it's like, comb or bomb, and I don't know, it's funny, but maybe I'll post it on Instagram.
Like the 2 different ways to spell donut.
Oh no, I don't even know if that's the most hotly debated.
No. Probably not. That's probably true.
No, but that's true.
Yeah.
I went for DONUT.
Yes. That's right. That was your world for a while.
Yeah, I know a donut or two.
Scott in a different life owned a donut shop.
I did.
Pretty good one. It was good, man. Your stuff was good.
Yeah, no, it was great.
High-end donut shop in Manhattan. It was good. It was really good.
I won't disagree with there.
Yeah,
I won't disagree.
No,
but saved on letters. Donut with the
donut.
NUT saves on letters.
Yes.
And
that is
website things and email addresses.
Yes. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Nice, man.
Yeah, so anyway, so 21, that's where all this came from, episode 21. We're back at it.
Crazy, right? I mean, it's awesome. And we're obviously coming at you from remote locations again, right? Scott's in the bunker, back in the bunker.
Yep.
Scott's
underground.
The hockey bunker. And I am away. Again.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, what's nice about it is that what we're using software-wise, in my opinion, is so much better than what we were using when I was on my other road trip.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely.
Don't you think?
Yeah. I listen. What I will say is that this one is for someone that isn't the most familiar with all the audio, visual, digital settings and things. This is there's less levers, quote unquote, to pull and work with. This kind of does a lot of it for you. So
yeah, it's good.
Either way, all good.
Yeah. So what's going on? Tell me what you've been doing. I haven't spoken to you in a bunch of days.
Days. It's kind of true. I do feel that way.
Yeah.
What's been going on? We shipped Otto off again.
Otto's at sleepaway camp again.
Yeah. This is week number 4 for him. He's at
must be nice.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because there's actually an article that popped up on like my news feed or whatever about like it might even be day camps. I'm pretty sure it wasn't sleepaway camp, because that's a little scandalous. But there's like day camps for like adults where like you go and basically like are a day camper and like play fun games outdoors.
Stop it!
I swear to God,
that's not a thing. No,
it's a thing.
That can't be a thing.
I'll share it with you anyway.
That's frightening if that's the thing.
Yeah. So, but I don't know how we got here. Otto's back at camp, and he's doing like BMX
week? Just for
BMX.
a week.
For the week, yeah.
Oh, that's right. This is the X Gamesy camp, right?
Yeah, he's going to focus on BMX.
Cool.
But kids are funny, because he went to the nurse apparently on day 1, and called Orly and said, I went to the nurse, I tore something.
What do you think he tore?
I don't think I don't even know if he understands what it means to tear something. I only say that because there's no there's no way that he tore something and was like on the phone without like a medical professional present.
So he
So
obviously
I
was
don't.
hurt somewhere.
Yeah, something happened. I don't know.
Oh, that's
But
funny, man. BMX
yeah, like
camps,
he
huh?
tore something. Talk to the nurse. Oh, I'm not there anymore. I'm going to my next elective.
So
I'm like,
clearly you
okay.
didn't tear anything.
I didn't tear anything.
Right. It's like Aaron Judge. All right, nice, man. Very
Yeah.
cool. So
How
he's
about
back.
you?
How about me? We are down in Cape May for a little while.
Oh, but hold on. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just
Yeah,
want to tell on myself
yeah, good.
that last week Otto's, he was away for 2 weeks and then or whatever, 3 weeks, and then he came home, immediately went right to a morning hockey clinic for the week. So
Oh, he did.
we filled in his space, his time.
So you had him working when he got home.
I wouldn't say I had him working, but I mean, I guess I'm just calling that out only because we obviously talk about like how much we do or don't have our kids like on the ice. So far this summer, since school's let out, he's gone to 1 week of sleepaway camp, hockey camp, and then he's done like a 4 days worth of like, it was like a 2-hour clinic every morning. So
okay, cool.
That's what.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry. So I cut you off. You are
no. Yeah, we're down in Cape May doing zero hockey. Well, I can't say zero. He has his stick and his stick handling ball, so he's doing
nice.
that. So he does that.
That's good.
Other than that, no hockey. Beach, swimming, kind of like mini golf. He's like hell bent on beating me in mini golf this summer. Like hell bent.
Does he have a chance? No.
Yes, no chance.
Maybe you should get him the Happy Gilmore 2 putter.
I heard the movie wasn't that great. Is that true?
I don't know. Otto watched it with his buddy.
Dominic watched it too. Dominic loved it, but Nancy is reading the reviews and she's like, not so good.
I don't know. I don't think I'm so interested, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe one of these days. The first one was tremendous.
Yeah, I know, but that's like the same thing. Like when Dumb and Dumber 2 came out, I was like,
not the same. No.
You know what I did? No. I think part of my response to this is because when I saw the sequel to Coming to America that came out with Eddie Murphy.
You can't make a sequel to Coming to America.
Oh, I mean, but they did.
I mean, you can't. I don't care. You cannot.
They did.
Like, you're not. Sorry. Like no. You can only go down.
Okay, so fair.
First of all, was Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy even in it?
Eddie Murphy was in it. It was like almost like I think it might have been somewhat of a comeback for him since he was out of the.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's
now I feel like I have to Google it.
Google it. Is that true? I didn't know.
Is what true? What's the question?
I didn't know they made it Coming to America too. The first one was so good. Son, I always assumed that you had sex with your bathers. I know I do.
All right, shithead.
Is it there?
Coming to America.
Wow. 2?
Hold on.
If they made a second one, that is a travesty. Like, sorry. This is beautiful. What is it, velvet?
What the fuck? So yeah, it came out Coming to America. It came out in 2021.
Is Mama call him Clay? I'm call him Clay. I can keep going. Damn shame they did that dog.
Yeah, no, but it had all the it had Eddie Murphy.
Arsenio Hall too? No. Terrible. That's terrible. In 2021, so they're all old.
Yeah, but my point is that I watched it and it was such a fail in my opinion that I was like,
that doesn't surprise me. Yeah. All right, nice, man. Anyway. So we're not doing any hockey, just relaxing. When Dominic gets home, hockey starts up. I want to say we get back like the 9th or 10th, and then hockey starts up pretty heavily.
The following week.
A week later,
yeah.
You probably have the same schedule, right?
We've got one practice scheduled that the week you're talking about, I think on the 14th, he's got a practice, and then there's one, then he's got a game on like the 23rd of August, but we're not going to be here. And then they got the showcase that last weekend, we're not going to be here. So
that's right. You guys are going to North Carolina. Good.
Yeah.
Speaking of that showcase, the one, it's like August 26, 27, 28, something like that. Yeah. My rant has something to do with that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that after our second part with our buddy Chris Vollmer.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So we're gonna do part 2 today. That's right. But
Yep.
one quick note. I was reading up on the AHF website,
Mhm.
and earlier, I don't know how many episodes ago, we were kind of like hating on how there's no tournaments and that we're coming out of pocket. Well,
Yeah.
the
Coming out of
AHF
pocket.
has showcases which the organization is counting as like part of our tuition, which is like we're just going to play quote unquote league games. So they do open up the tournaments to non-league teams.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, fair. So, but I'm just calling that out
That's
because
great.
it's
You still
because they're
don't win anything.
oh, okay. Well, whatever the deal is, all I'm saying is that it's there. There is like an opening there for it to be like kind of like less restrictive, perhaps, is a way of putting it. I mean, I don't think you're going to have a ton of teams signing up personally,
I don't think so either.
but you know, you know,
Yeah. Hockey, man, I'm telling you, big, big, big business.
big business. Yeah.
Big business.
So
Huge sports, huge business. Yeah, yeah. So hockey cranks up when we get back, right?
yeah.
The season's going to be here before we know it. We
Are
have,
you looking forward to it?
uh, I think I am. Yeah, I
Yeah.
am. Dominic's been wanting to play since
He's
May.
chomping on the bit, huh?
Yeah, man, he's been wanting to play since May, so he's ready to go. Um, I don't know if his skates will be ready to go when he gets back in them. They were a little
What?
big on him, so that's going to be an
Oh,
interesting
is that was
situation.
that was the part of the problem?
They're big on him. He got new skates, right? We talked about that a couple episodes ago. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to turn by opening weekend. I'm not so sure how that's going to go. We may have to squish his foot back into his old skates. That,
How much bigger are the new skates?
I mean, they fit him, but they're big. He went from a junior to an intermediate, so they're big. That 3-on-3 that he did, he can barely turn. I mean, he's
Listen,
awkward turning.
so okay.
He just
Sorry,
he just hasn't figured it
I'll
out yet.
hold back my giggling, and I apologize.
No. You giggle away. I mean,
I
you have
I'm
to. He knows
I'm
it too.
hold on, but my question
You
is
know,
that okay? So it's a bigger. There's
it's a
more
bigger
boot.
boot.
It's
Yeah,
a bigger skate,
the
but
toque's bigger, the blade's longer. Like everything's bigger.
okay, no, I understand that, but the actual size, like whatever they sized him for,
Right.
how much bigger is that than his old scare? Like he was previously in a size what?
His old skate was a junior 3,
Junior 3, and then he went to an intermediate what?
4.5.
So is that like a natural progression there? Like it's just
I think so.
4. So he went up 1.5 sizes,
Correct.
and
But
that
in
and
that
you
one
feel
and a
that
half
part's
size,
correct?
yeah, they measured his foot. I think that was
Yeah,
correct. So listen, what maybe maybe it's a little big for him to skate.
yeah, yep,
Because the 4 we tried on was his toes were pushing up against the boot in the toe box,
yeah.
right? So, um, so I guess we'll see how that goes. So the guy's like, I don't want to sell you a 4. He's like, because you're going to be back here in a couple months, needing new skates. When you're paying $1,100 for skates plus 2 sets of steel, so you're capping out at big money.
Yeah.
I get it, right? I mean, listen, I'm not saying he doesn't fit into them, but he just needs to figure them out. I remember when we went from a youth skate to a junior. I remember it was
Oh yeah,
very similar progression.
interesting.
He was semi retarded for like a month on
Oh,
on his skates. You know,
interesting. Okay, well,
yeah, yeah. So
I
I'll say.
I wish him great
Yeah,
success.
listen. So I'm not. So he's looking forward to it. I'm not sure that. Listen, we're gonna see what happens.
Yo,
Yeah.
I think this happened between last the last episode,
What's
but
that?
so yeah, it was. It definitely was. So Otto was at this like skating like this week long. They call it a camp. I don't know how they get away with calling things camps when it's like 2 hours like in the morning. That's not really camp.
Yeah, they say camp because it's Monday through Friday.
This was Monday through Thursday.
Okay, similar. Got it.
So
Okay.
anyway, he's at this camp, and sure enough, Orly calls me. She goes,
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
his foot doesn't really fit in the boot anymore. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, he takes off his skates and like, it's all red. Like on one foot's longer than the other.
Oops.
So anyway, so they immediately then went to pure hockey, right? Like
Oops.
last Wednesday. So look at me laughing like 2 episodes
You're
ago.
laughing at Vollmer and I about dropping $1,100 on skates.
So okay, it was like a week ago.
Yep.
And now so this is what happened.
Yep.
So Otto tried on a few different pair just to see if anything fit better differently. He's traditionally worn Vapors.
Right.
And honestly, he ended up going with a pair of CCMs, and he tried on different like boots, not really paying attention to the price point because Orly didn't really let him see it. Although he knew he tried one pretty expensive pair on. He ended up liking.
He tried the flatlights, right?
Yeah, which he didn't like.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but in any event, he ended up. He chose CCM like FT890, which is not like the 8 Pro. It's like the first level down.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And we're still in like the junior skate. So we're not in like the intermediate price bracket.
What size did he get? Like a 12 or an 11?
No, he's out of that. What's up? That's youth. Then junior.
Sorry. So he's like a 1, 2, or 3.
So he got TS2s.
Okay.
2s. He's got a smaller foot.
So you're 1.5 sizes away from the intermediate skate.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be like by the end of the season.
Caps out at 3.5, I'm pretty sure. Which is
in any event. So we didn't end up going with the top of the line.
Okay, cool.
We didn't even have to have that conversation with him. And yeah, all good.
All right, cool. Nice, man. So new skates. Dare I ask how much you dropped? Do you even want to tell our lovely crowd? You don't have
to. Like somewhere around $500.
Yeah. Hey, listen, just keep feeding the hockey monster. He's very hungry.
Well, I will tell you.
Dude, we should do t-shirts. The hockey monster.
The hockey monster.
Hockey monster.
Just gobbling dollar bills.
Absolutely. Just throwing dollar bills down his throat. Dude, we absolutely should do the hockey monster. That should be a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll get right on that, Rose.
Was that a hold on?
Yep.
Was that a hold on? I'm gonna guess. I want to say a League of Their Own, but I know it's not right.
No, it's from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh man.
Bark it yourself, Metallica Breath.
Oh my god, I was way off. Slippy, Swami, Samsonite. I was way off.
All right. So you mentioned just before today's guest, Chris Vollmer's back.
Yep. Everybody loved round. Everybody loved our last episode. Did really well, and we got a lot of great feedback on our first interview with our buddy Chris. It went so well that we're bringing him back for round 2. He's excited. Yeah. Booked him yesterday. We are gonna. So Chris is coming shortly for you guys, and we may even do a part 3 with Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, if that's okay, if everybody wants to hear it, we're getting some requests for a part 3 because Chris and I were a part of putting together that very high level Rockets team that his son still plays on. And it was me, him, and another parent who we also need to have on at some point in time. But I think it's just going to be Chris for this time. And they're requesting part 3, The Architects.
Okay.
So we'll see.
George Lucas directing this trilogy.
We'll see. Yes, that's exactly what it could be. We could put this out on Netflix.
Okay.
We just need Netflix to come pick it up.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to get right on that one.
Listen, there have been stranger documentaries, right?
I won't disagree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was very well received. So we got Chris, part 2 of Chris coming up shortly. You want to shout out our partners?
Yeah, sure. So Howie's still going strong. Crazy 10 discount code for 10% off at Howie's.
I love Howie's.
Absolutely. Then we got Pro Stride with Angelo Surs, head skating coach for the New Jersey Devils.
No big deal.
Nope. And so he runs camps, clinics across the country. Pro Stride Elite Skating. CHD10 is our discount code for 10% off with Pro Stride. Definitely check them out.
And then your buddy Eric.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you were going to say something about Angelo. Yeah, and
No,
then
no,
athletic.
Angelo's great. Love Angelo.
Yeah.
Angelo is awesome. If you want to fix your kid's stride, Angelo is the guy to do it. And you're in our area.
So
Angelo's the guy to do it.
I saw he was interviewing Arminetian, outside of
Not surprised.
Cody Arena.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Aram's been skating with him for a long time.
for a long time. Yeah,
Long
yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Current. Yeah. His season's cranking up soon, right? Big BC defenseman.
No doubt.
I want to say he was drafted by the Blues or the Stars. I want to say
Not
Blues.
sure.
I want to say St. Louis Blues.
Could be.
But yeah, Aram's that BC team is going to be interesting this year. I think we're going to have another BCBU rivalry this year. Not like you have it every year, but I think those two teams again are going to be pretty legit.
Be a dogfight.
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, it usually is.
Yeah, it usually is. But I think those two teams are pretty evenly matched. No,
Geez, they have
Studs
been the
up.
last couple of years. I don't know.
Studs on both
I don't know how
teams.
much they're losing and how much they're gaining. Like obviously Ryan Leonard, a few others are gone.
Yes, no
So
question.
BU likewise, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
They keep reloading though, both of them.
I know it's crazy.
Both those teams. I'm so excited for college hockey. I'm so excited.
I know it'll be good.
Yeah,
It'll be good. And then just to finish up with partners, so Athletic Performance Insight, I mentioned last week.
Our buddy Eric, right?
Yeah, Eric out in Ohio. So if any of our listeners have been thinking about video or analytics for their team, I don't know, we got some coaches or maybe some team managers that are listening. Check out our friends at Athletic Performance Insight. They have a very easy to use, affordable system that's helping teams from as young as like youth travel, like what we talk about mostly, all the way up to the ACHA college champions they tagged last year. So check out athleticperformanceinsight.com. And then Eric said, just taking a look at my notes over here, he said,
Valuable tool for any team.
oh, 100%. Oh, yeah. And if you want to request a demo, they'll tag one of your games at no cost, just so you can see what the end result is and what kind of analytics will come out on the back end. So definitely take them up on that. And any new users will get 10% off a season subscription by mentioning Crazy Hockey Dads. So if nothing else, please take a look, especially if you think video analytics is something that is going to help level up your team, your kids' team.
Yeah.
It's a great tool.
Love
we
our
all learn
partners.
differently.
We have awesome partners.
No doubt.
We're very lucky. And hopefully our listeners go support. If you guys have a use for any of this stuff, please go check it out.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's just finish up before we kick it over to Chris. Geography updates.
So we were kind of cranking the last couple of episodes.
Yeah, we were.
We're only a couple states shy right here in the U.S. I want to say 6 states shy in the U.S. Didn't pick up any new ones. Didn't pick up any new overseas. I think we're in 17 countries. Didn't pick anybody up. But what we did pick up, we got all 10 Canadian provinces. And then there's 3 territories, if I'm not mistaken. And the Yukon is one of them. And we picked up the Yukon.
Nice, dude.
So that was cool, So our Canadian presence is going very strong. We love our Canadian listeners. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We love all of our listeners, period. Thank you for all of you for sharing the show and listening and downloading. Even on quiet days, you guys are downloading, which is wild. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We couldn't do this without you. We hope that you're finding value. Again, write us, if you want to hear something, if you want to talk about a story.
Oh.
Yeah. Good.
Speaking of writing in, good segue. I'm going to cut you off because we've been taking our time here. But so we did have a listener write in, and I'll read it real quick.
Crazy story.
So all right, so hold on. So he's got Jamie. Loved the show. Thought I'd share a recent low point in my hockey dad journey that still makes my wife cringe every time she sees the visa bill.
Yikes.
He said, okay, so for his son's 12th birthday, he thought it would be cool to surprise him with a weekend camp.
Oh, God.
So it wasn't just any camp, apparently. This one was run by a former D1 guy who now calls himself a development specialist, has what he says, slick IG presence. Okay.
Don't most of them.
Yeah, slick. I like the slick.
Yes.
So anyways, long story short, the camp was 3 hours away. He spent over $1,000 all in for the weekend, and he said his son hated it.
Oh man.
His son hated it. This is the
Oh
craziest part.
man.
He said that, so the kid was complaining that the coach was yelling at them the whole time, made them do conditioning drills like it was they were in the military, and didn't even let them scrimmage once.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
Usually they try to keep some
Normally you get a
fun.
scrimmage at the end, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but hold on. This is the so on the drive home, I asked what. So this like dad's asking his kid. I asked what he learned, and the kid said,
Nothing.
I learned I don't want to do my birthday with you anymore." he
Oops.
said, he said, "No," he said, "Anyway, thanks for making me feel less insane for caring too much." He said, "Next year he's getting laser tag and pizza like a normal kid."
Hockey dad fail.
Yeah,
Big
that's
hockey
fine,
dad
Bill.
fail. You know,
Yeah.
big
So
big hockey dad
Bill
fail.
from Massachusetts.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. Oh, listen. I mean, we've all been there, obviously, right? I mean,
Some version of it.
it's funny you say that, Scott, because I actually had a hockey mom who I go back and forth with, who Dominic knows. She listens to the podcast. Her son just did a week up in Lake Placid at
Yeah.
Can-Am.
Yeah.
Now, Can-Am is not cheap.
Yeah.
You know, so like that $1,000 that our listener from Massachusetts just spent for the hockey camp, like I want to say Can-Am is like $3,000. And
Wow.
I could be wrong, but I don't think I think it's more than
Not
$1,000.
you.
Let's put it that way. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
so she just had her son there, and she says to me, she goes, "I think we're trying something different next year." She goes, "I don't think he wants to go back."
interesting.
Yeah, Lake Placid.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen, sometimes you don't know until you know.
yeah. I think her son didn't like it because he can't hit. And now he's a big hitter, this kid, and
Yeah.
I don't think they were letting him hit during camp. I'm sure there were a bunch of other things he didn't like, but she said, "You know what? We're trying something different next year."
Okay. Well, you live and you learn. That's part of life.
What are you gonna do? You know,
Yeah.
that's like me buying. It's like me buying a shotgun for my wife for her birthday. Hey, babe, look what I got you.
Yeah. How'd
Or a
that go?
bowling ball.
Did you really do that?
No, I didn't do that, but I'm just
Oh,
saying, like, you know, it's like when you
you're buying a
buy.
gift for yourself.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. You know. So yes, thank you, Bill from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Sorry that didn't work out.
I'm sure he's over it by now.
Yes.
Anyway, all right. So,
Yeah.
what do you say?
All right. So
Kick it over to Chris.
we'll throw it over to our buddy Chris Vollmer. You guys really liked it, so here we are for part 2 with our buddy Chris Vollmer. Again, hope you guys enjoy it.
All right. All right. Well, welcome back, everyone. We've got our second episode with Chris Vollmer. Chris, welcome back. Thank you for your the first episode we did with you last week, and are psyched to have you back.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Again, I hope it went well and everybody liked it. And obviously, you guys must like it. Came back a little bit, so it's good.
Oh, yeah.
100%. It's great.
Well received. Very well received by the community. No question about it.
No doubt. So, all right. So I think, from the last episode, we were talking about how you had been keeping Ryan off the ice, for a good part of the early summer. But now it sounds like you're back into the throes, like hockey season is starting.
Yeah, like I was telling you guys off the air, felt really good about myself of really controlling, listen to what our coach said about keeping him off April, May, and June, not doing much, trying to play other sports, letting him be a kid for a little while. And it seems that I fallen off the deep end of the pool here in July and haven't been home for a couple of weeks and living in Massachusetts and now sitting here in Toronto in a camp and realizing what the hell did I do to myself? I just want to be home on my bed. He's exhausted and yeah.
And yet Liz has
so
not divorced you yet.
You could try to take the crazy. I try not to be crazy, but you want to drive back in.
It does sound like though you're doing better than last season though, or last spring summer, right? So it's progress, not perfection.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. By the time they're 18 and 19, hopefully I have figured out by the time hockey's done.
You'll be dialed in.
Yeah.
But so you were just mentioning about playing other sports, and that's something that we've talked about a little bit in the past. But just in terms of, because you hear that a lot, right? The coaches are always saying it's important that kids play other sports, but then of course their sport always has to take priority and blah blah blah. What's been your experience, with Ryan and playing second sports, and is that something that he likes to do, or because I know you were saying how driven he's been with hockey since kind of the beginning.
He definitely likes to do it, but the funny thing is like when you sign him up or do something, he's always worried that, well, I have this skate or this is going on, and I don't want to miss that, right? So it's
Yeah.
always the struggle to sign him up. But once he gets into it and starts playing it, they obviously, they love it. They love doing different things. I mean, listen, all these boys are, for the most part, and girls, highly competitive. So no matter what you do, when you put them in a competitive atmosphere, they want to try to be the best of what they have. Personally, for me, I love it because, like you get to spend a season of rec basketball or lacrosse or baseball, and it costs $250, $300 for a season versus for one skate, right? And I personally, I go and I have zero. I'm not expecting him to be the best or to overachieve. I'm looking for him to pick up some other skill and honestly to have some fun without me personally and somebody else breathing down his neck or something like that when he comes off. And so
Right.
I look at it like I actually find myself enjoying watching it more because I'm coming from a different lens where he doesn't have to be competitive or anything like that. And I think he gets stuff out of that. I mean, it hasn't been consistent where he's playing, he did 2 years of baseball and that fell off. They did football for a year, but tackle football was really hard because you really need dedication. Lacrosse was pretty simple this year. He did lacrosse for the first time.
Good.
Again, just enough for him to be running outside, different concepts being outside. It is funny though, because I have one funny story about him. It's like we were playing, it was last year, we were playing baseball. He was so excited. It was like a playoff game or something going. Man, he was talking about it all day long. And then it rained. And he lost his marbles about why we can play in the rain. We can play in the rain. And so I was like, Brian, I mean, people don't understand is like, you're used to playing hockey where it's the same. I mean, unless there's 25 inches of snow on the ground. And by the way,
or unless the ice melts.
yeah, unless the ice melts. So somebody's roof goes on fire in Jersey and there's no ice coming on. But I mean, otherwise, you're weather dependent. And he just could not understand the concept of canceling a baseball game because of rain.
Meanwhile, it's funny you said like 25 inches of snow. You were just about to say that. You and I experienced that when we were in Buffalo.
Well, we did experience
fucking
that
Buffalo.
Yeah, man, we got about snowed in 40 some inches, but crazy enough to be driving to and from a game or doing something, right?
That's for sure.
I was there also.
Oh, Scott was there. I forgot.
Left.
He's smart.
Early.
He left early.
Yeah, we bailed on. I think this was an interesting situation. So I coached Otto pretty much from the beginning of his travel club career, whatever you want to call it. So I was a coach, and all these parents were they want to keep on playing, and like me being also a parent wanting to see play still, but I felt like, listen, if we decide to go travel through wherever and someone gets into a car wreck, it was like this whole situation where I felt a lot of pressure from parents that they want to stay and play, and I was like, listen, what's the point? The weather is a state of emergency. Why are we fighting this? And I was like, we should just go home and try to get home as soon as possible, as opposed to being out here. But the level, it was that was probably the most heated I think families got in terms of
because some wanted to stay.
Yeah. And I ultimately said, listen, I obviously I can't make everyone drive home. I said, I'm not staying, just to let you know. And if and I told the assistant coach, listen, we can't make people leave. I get that, but I'm just telling you, this is what I'm doing. But people, I don't know. You guys stayed there too. I thought that was crazy. It's about how crazy youth sports is. The NFL cancels in Buffalo.
I was just gonna say that. I have a fucking crazy story about that. Christy, and you want
we
me
did
to tell
say, we are getting, of course, all of us nuts. We're undefeated in the tournament. Got a good chance of possibly winning the damn thing, right?
Yep.
Everybody wants to stay.
Yep.
So it's like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I literally look out my window and you can't see 2 inches in front of that window. I mean, it was just coming down. And then you get the email from the thing. We're going to try to play the games. And then 15 minutes later, tournament's canceled. Everybody shelter in place. Yeah. Then half the other crazy people oh, hell no, we're leaving.
A lot of them left.
Some of them did. And then you get phone calls and text messages a half hour later. This might have been the dumbest decision I've ever made in my life. Stay.
Some got turned around by the cops, by the Buffalo cops. They turned them around and drove them back to the hotel.
Yeah. So,
Chris, I remember before we played our fourth game, which was our outdoor game, right? we were in that restaurant bar across the street, and and the NFL had just canceled and moved the game
Buffalo
to
game.
Buffalo's
Well,
game.
Pittsburgh was coming to Buffalo to play a playoff game, and they canceled the Buffalo Bills playoff game. Yet
They
we're
moved
in
it.
Buffalo. Well, they didn't cancel it. They moved it a day.
They moved it. Yeah,
They moved it.
They moved
and,
it.
And
Yep.
there we are thinking we should be able to play youth hockey.
So I remember looking at Chris. We're sitting at the bar, and I remember looking at Chris, and I'm like, Chris, you think we're really going to have this tomorrow morning? And he's like, listen, maybe. I'm like, Chris, they just moved the NFL game. I'm like, you think they're going to let a youth hockey tournament go on? And you're like, it's Buffalo. Maybe they know how to remove snow better than other places.
They probably do.
Yeah.
I'm sure they definitely do, by the way, because the plows, ask Nancy, the plows in that place are off the charts.
Bonkers.
They're like tanks with plows on them. It's
By
ridiculous.
the way, I think we're at the Westin, right? Is that where we were at?
We were, yeah.
The Westin, which turned into holy hell because now you have people locked in there. They ran out of food. You have all these hockey teams, all these parents now with just coolers sitting down. And by the way, the Pittsburgh Steelers were staying at the same hotel.
Pittsburgh Steelers pulled in. Yep.
It was I've never seen anything so mayhem in my life. It was crazy.
I remember we left in a caravan like Monday or Tuesday morning, whatever it was. We were just like, we're leaving. So we just left. We all met downstairs.
With the windshield wiper fluid frozen. And I'm literally pouring windshield wiper fluid in a red cup and pouring it down so we can, as we're driving, to have the windshield wipers flow because it'll stall. We can
pouring water on our windshields because the stuff froze. It was talk about a crazy hockey parent story. My God.
Of course, there was 2 kids in the car too, so it wasn't that bad. I mean, seriously, right? It's
right. No danger at all.
No danger. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh my God, Scott! I forgot you were there. You were there.
Yeah, so that's what. So that's. I mean, I'm just thinking back. That's what I met. I think that's where I met Phil for the first time because I went over to see when you guys were playing the Junior Terriers.
I'm pretty sure you met Chris too. I'm pretty sure I introduced you to Chris when we were upstairs.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was a crazy story. I mean, youth sports.
That's for sure.
So one of the other things I think thinking back on the last podcast, and we were just talking about one thing about just being like this hockey dad, where it's like we're kind of all engrossed in kind of well, when's practice, when are tryouts, when are the games, when there's extra clinics, this and that. But then at some point through all this, it's you also find yourself oh shit, I'm this kid's parent also, and oftentimes sports put, at least for me, and I think I'm probably speaking on behalf of all of us also, but it can make us a little cuckoo, and especially when we're putting in so much time, effort, energy into one thing. And, we all have our own, our own ways of going about parenting through all this. But I'd be curious, Chris, just to kind of hear a little bit about how it's been for you. And before that, just real quick on my end, having been Otto's coach, I did a lot of comparing of him to other kids because I was on the ice with these kids trying to figure out how we're going to make this whole thing work. And I'm not just focused on my kid like a lot of us are when we're watching a game. I think a lot of people, certainly at the younger ages, are following their kid around a lot more than they're watching others. Mm-hmm. But I tell you, I did a lot of comparing and contrasting in my head and saying, oh my God, why not now? Why not yet? How come, I thought we'd be in a different spot at this point. And, it took a little bit of time for me to get a better balance on how to talk to him about hockey outside of the rink,
Oh man. Yeah. Well, I feel like it's a loaded question for me right there because it's kind of it's twofold for me. Because again, I know we talked about it again, maybe episode 3 of this, which is maybe down the future, is about talking about how we started the team we're at, right? And that was all heavy lifting from myself, Jamie, and Phil, right, to start this. So when you're starting that, my first year or two, being team manager with those guys, and then, when Jamie and Phil were no longer around, that burden came to me 100% was, you're worrying about other kids, right? We didn't have the coach running it to start, right? And so we were the ones of looking for the talent, going out, speaking to parents, running everything. I can't tell you how much time I'd wake up in the morning and I have 10 text messages at 5:30 from another parent or somebody like that. And right. And so then I'm doing calls at night and my work schedule. And so I can't even concentrate on him because I'm concentrating on all this other thing and trying to keep this team together, make sure these parents are happy and, you know, and all that. Right. So you have that. And then he feels that, by the way. And so it's the exact opposite. So first is like, you're not paying attention to me. Why do you got to talk to these people? What are you doing? And then that falls into, hey, this player is good. Well, we need this player. He's good. And we're like, well, I'm good. And then so it's like, all this other emotion that's coming from, because like kind of like you said, Scott, if you're on the bench, right? These are players that you need to get ice time. You have to put them out there in certain situations, right? And so my concentrated in that. Then he hated it, right? So I had to pull away this year. I'm not the manager anymore. It's like it was what's best for myself, my relationship with my family, my with Ryan. But I have another thing. It's like, Ryan's best friend. It's like I told you, we dual parent, right? It's like there's two families that have two kids and we're always in the car together. And these boys have been together since 3. And so, they've been developing together. Right. And now you start having this crazy puberty thing and everything hitting and somebody's growing faster and one's at a little different spot as a development. And, that can put a strain on it is because, you think he's better. He does this, so it puts a strain right now on my relationship with him at times because when you try to act normal and just be truthful, they don't understand. If you say somebody's, hey, that kid played a good game or this did this, they take that as a slight that they didn't play or that's something, right? And don't get me wrong. I'm not, how I myself, perfectionist is not the right word, but I always challenge myself. I always want to know in my business or what I do, what I did wrong. If I did something wrong, then I know I can fix it. And so, when you get off, and I've tried to be better about it over the last couple months, I'm trying not to have those car conversations. I don't go in and watch practice anymore because that just makes me more frustrated. Right. So I tried to have a little bit more positive is probably not the right word, but muted, not be so critical or have more conversations. By the way, it's not fully, it's not the best because he gets competitive and he comes back me. And I feel like our relationship right now over the last couple months has become not what it used to be, where I always said is my son was my best friend, right? Like there's nothing more than I love than spending time with him doing this. I will give everything I have. As long as he loves doing what he's doing, I will try to spend every resource, my time, my energy, to make him successful if that's what he wants to do. But you ultimately want him to be happy. And again, some of the stuff that we do, and I say this, and again, I could be hard on him just as anybody else. And I am hard on him. But I hope that when he's 25, 26, 27, he has his own children one day. He can go back, he wasn't being an asshole. Like he loved me. He did these things for me, right? Like I'm literally working.
Yep.
I'm working in Toronto at a Holiday Inn Express right now, running a business because my son wants to be up here, right? And so I know he doesn't understand that, but these are the points in time where I come back and I can get frustrated. And it's never about, for me, it's a lot of, and I'm sure a million people say this about effort, right? Or what they do. And so for me, when I get frustrated at those points in time, and it just happened, right? I mean, honestly, 15 minutes ago, right before we got on call, and it came off the ice, and it was not anything critical on my thought. It was very calm. And all I just said is like, wow, these are big boys up here. I mean, these kids play big and fast. I mean, you looked a little timid going into the corners. I mean, that's something that you got to think about when you're going. It was literally something as simple as that threw him off right away. Like he got mad, like I was critical of him and doing something. I wasn't trying to be. It was just one of those, hey, this is what's happening. This is how the game is changing. And so I feel like every conversation we have, whether it's school or hockey right now, has become tension filled. And I have to be honest, I hate it.
Yeah.
And again, when you have other kids on his team that I've brought into the mix, we've done this stuff, and you say this kid had a good game, or hey, this person wants to talk to this person, do stuff, and then he gets frustrated, like, well, you're, the whole world glazing. You're glazing him, or you're doing stuff like that, like, and I'm like, no, right, that's not, that's not the case, right? And so, yeah, I mean, so the relationship that I think that we all have with our kids and what we do through us is this tricky situation because you want the best for them, right? Everybody wants somebody else to think that their kid is good next to the other kid that's right there, right? And that's not always the case, right? You know, I had this football coach when I was growing up. Like, you know, we were good. We won a state championship. We did stuff. And he's like, man, you guys think you're good. You're just all relative. You're good for New York. You're good for Long Island. You're good. You know, it's like this whole thing, this whole, everything's relative, right? Yeah, you're good. But are you good when you come up to Canada? Are you good when you do stuff? So that critical part becomes the, for me, the hard thing of how I balance that to try to be supportive, but also give them. I mean, somebody's got to tell them the truth, right? And then I feel like for me is like if my father, I'm the father, I love him more than anything. Right? I mean, I'll say this right now, right? I love my wife, I love my daughter, but I'm sure my wife's relationship with my daughter is having a girl, having a little boy. When you're a man, there's just something
special
about that.
There's
something innate about it, right?
Yeah.
It's like special. All of us have wanted that, right? And that's just, and so, but you tell them you love them, you do these things, but the real way, I always say was like, I had a conversation. I'm like, Ryan, I'm trying to teach you to be a man. I mean, literally, I'm trying to teach you, what translates here in these sports of what you're doing is hopefully that's something that's going to translate to business one day. That's how you run your family. How, God forbid, I'm not here one day, something happens to me, that you're able to, handle these situations without daddy always having to come to the rescue, right? And they're 13. He don't understand it, and I get that. And there's frustration, especially with this whole new puberty thing kicking in. I don't know how you guys ask your question. Is like, obviously, because the boys are, well, Jamie, yours. I mean, so Otto's how old now?
Yeah, so Otto's 10 going on 11. So
you're about to come into it.
He's not there yet.
And again, I'm not even full there. And I went through with my daughter, and I thought that the daughter was going to be harder, right? And they're coming into their own. They're very opinionated. They have their things. They're kind of set in their ways, and you just try to say one thing, and it's like. And I'm not the parent that is like, oh yeah, okay, turn a blind eye, walk away, let things calm down. I mean, that's
No, I'm not either. And it's funny, Chris, because I'm experiencing a very similar thing with Dominic right now. It's hard to be not critical, but it's hard to tell them that you think that they're doing something incorrectly without them getting offended, right? I'm sure there's some kids out there that take that and actually go, okay, my dad's trying to help me. But a lot of them get offended, right? My kid certainly gets offended. He thinks I'm coming after him, right? And I think all we're really trying to do is make our kids as successful as we are, or even more successful, right? Because like you said, you're not going to be around forever. We're not going to be around forever. And we want our kids to grow up to be men and be able to handle, life, because life is hard, right? Life's not easy. And it's funny that you mentioned, the car ride, because that's actually something I was going to ask you about. The car ride, I think, in our game, because you're not just driving around the corner for the most part, right? You're driving an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, wherever you're going, right? The car ride is a very challenging thing, especially for really type A, really competitive parents, right? I know that, right? Same, guilty, right? I mean, that's why we're on this podcast, because that's why people listen.
I don't want to lose ever to anybody. I mean, I play my wife in cornhole in the backyard, and I want to beat her 21-0. Like literally, like that's. I mean, there's nothing that.
Right. Exactly. Right? Like here I am down in Cape May, and Dominic keeps telling me all week. He's like, "Dad, this is the year I'm going to beat you in mini golf." Right. So like my kid is just as competitive. Right. So like it creates like a little, not animosity, but it creates a competitive nature, which is great in these kids. But when you tell them something and you're trying to, and you don't mean anything by it, but you're trying to say, hey, bud, like, you did this, maybe this will help even better, and they get offended. And it's hard to have a rational conversation. At least it's hard for me to have a rational conversation with Dominic, because he gets so offended when I try to tell him something and help him.
Let me ask you a question though. Like, so when it comes to like whatever it is you're talking about, right? Like, I guess there might be like an off game where like maybe the coach hasn't had a moment to like talk to him about it. But if any of this that we're talking about is not necessarily like an isolated incident, like one game, whatever, if it's more of a habitual thing, like let's just take a back check, for example. I mean, Otto's doesn't does not back check as hard as I think he could, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that has that opinion about their kid. But so that's something that I know he's gotten feedback from coaches on. So I'm just curious about the difference between feedback that your kids might be getting also from their coaches that you're like maybe reinforcing perhaps, versus feedback that is just like, something in particular in one game like got you upset, and then you just, something he's only hearing from you. Have you seen a difference in the way either one of your kids respond, if depending on like what it is you're talking about?
My kid gets offended at anything. So Chris, I'll let you go.
Even if the coaches are giving him that feedback also?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
My kid, for the most part, I mean, he'll listen to feedback from somebody else, really sometimes harder on me. And again, we always told you, from other coaches, he listens well, he takes instruction, he does stuff, people like him. In terms of that stuff about games, I will say, and Jamie has experienced this, I'm lucky because our coach does a phone call with the kids. Every child on our team has to schedule a phone call with the kid before Wednesday after the weekend. So the weekend of games and tournament, doesn't matter. He will do a phone call. Now, parents can be on the line to listen to it. They're not expected to talk unless they have a question at the end, but is literally a synopsis of what he thought they did well, what they did wrong, what he needs to work on, what they're doing after every single weekend. So that has helped dramatically, because there's times that I come and say, why the hell did you do that, Ryan? He's like, that's what Jason asked me to. You don't know what you're doing. You don't get on the bench, you do that. And you know what? There's times I learn to respect. You know what? You're 100% right. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do know effort, and I do know. So for my things now, it's not so much game, and this 100% reason why I do not even go to watch practices 90% of the time, because, I mean, how many times you walked out of the rink when your kid had something in practice and you're pissed on the car ride home because your kid, and you having the conversation. I was like, oh man, this is not healthy for me, let alone the kid. I'm like, I can't watch practice anymore. But so the game stuff is less for me now. It definitely happens. To say it doesn't happen would be lying. But is it happening on a frequency, or every game happen? No, not at all. For me, it's the preparation that does when nobody is looking, that he says he wants to do these things, right? And so now I'm like, all right, Ryan, we're moving into this different sphere now of what's happening with, getting into Bantams, and again, a different podcast of agents starting to get involved at an early age, and these kids separating. I'm like, you can't complain if you're not preparing off the ice, if you're not taking your shots, if you're not doing the things that you want to do. That's how you prep for games. So a lot of my stuff now comes with, I'll walk in after work or something like that. Hey, how many shots you take today? I mean, that kind of stuff. And if it's nothing, that could be. And I will tell you, when I guess, Jamie, no, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, we're at hotels at tournaments, right? And it's 9 o'clock at night, and everybody's a couple in because you started at 11 o'clock in the morning. And so at those times, that's every once in a while you can have a hard time holding that tongue. And for me, I don't yell. I'm the one that throws zingers now. Like, it's one of those, like a little bit of a,
like a shot across their bow.
Sarcastic comment that kind of can set them off a little bit and something like that. So, I mean, yeah, no, perfect. I've tried to get better. I feel like I've gotten better, but as we said, am I there? I'm 50% in my journey of trying to, get better at that.
You're not that tumbled stone yet.
Yeah, but it does put strain right now in terms of our regular relationship, because honestly, 90% of what we do has to do with hockey. Unless he's at school, I'm in a car or doing something. So it's become his identity, and I like that about it, but I don't want it to be that, right? Because his life and his success later on in life is not determined by some athletic feat or something that he's, going to do, So
Great.
Yeah,
I'm learning, but it's not hard. I mean, it's hard. It's not perfect. I mean,
yeah. I've recently, and I don't know if it's in the spirit of doing less hockey in the spring, summer, but like I try not even to like bring it up, and not that I've had any significant episodes where he's like, I've definitely gone over the top. That's not what I'm saying, but it's never like resulted in some like major, like tension or whatever with Otto and I that lasted any long period of time, because I do know some families where the parents haven't talked to I haven't talked to my kid in like a week because of, and this is like an older kid who's like in high school, so yeah, I haven't talked to him in like a week because we had we're arguing about skating, but like it's a from for me, it becomes like a real mind fuck, because on one hand, I'm like, just dude, he's 10, he's playing his video games, he was like mountain biking, whatever he was doing, playing with his friends, like talk to him about that stuff. Like, don't bring up hockey. You don't need to talk about it now. There's so many years ahead of him with all this stuff. Just focus on the other things. But then, like, and I think the big but for me often is that, like, but if I don't bring these things to his attention, of guess he's going to be fine, because at some point he's going to have to take ownership for his journey and, like, be the one driving that ship. But like for now, it's kind of like, I just want to remind him, like, hey, listen, you tell me that you want to play higher level hockey, you tell me you want to get better, so why aren't you going out there and shooting, right? And I get it, you don't always want to shoot. Okay, that's fine. But I've been reluctant to even have those conversations recently, in fear of, like, not, like, I don't know, making it annoying for him, but I don't know. That's a little bit about, like, kind of where I'm at now.
Yeah, I mean, but I think all that stuff's fair, right? Because in my opinion, and I have these conversations with my wife. I hope this doesn't end end bad. She's scared, but I look at it as, listen, I had my journey in my sport that I played, right? Going to play college, and I know now my regrets. I always say, it's like, if I can go back, I'd give every dollar I had in my bank account to go back and play high school or college again, right? And knowing what I know, because somebody didn't give me these ways to push and toll, right? And again, I know he's 13 and some of these kids are young, and again, maybe you guys have older listeners and stuff like that with kids that are older, but I mean, like, for me is what if I know now, and yes, he's taken part, my son, at least this way, it's like 75%, 80% is he's taking control of, right? And they're still 13, so as much as they have to take control themselves, and very fastly approaching that point, there's still parts that you have to do, right? And you have to be mindful of work ethic. And so for me, I would regret myself personally if I didn't. And all of a sudden he gets back to, let's say, he gets 19, 20, and right, and now he's got to go play club hockey because he couldn't play D1 or D3 or do something. It was just, if he would have known how to do something like work ethic, and me, it's more work ethic, right? Of the things that you have to put in, because again, we're not talking just about hockey here. It's life. It's like when you get your job, when you go. I mean, the only thing that's made me successful in my career is my grind. My first 10 or 15 years, I didn't graduate from an Ivy League university. All my top competition are kids coming out with MBAs and all this stuff in Wall Street. And the only thing that I had more than anybody else was I was willing to grind and work longer hours than anybody else. And sooner or later, attrition left. People were leaving. I went from one of 20 and also now I'm one of 10 and also now at the top of the peak after of all these years. And it has nothing to do about, how smart I was, what school I went to. It was just the grind and the effort that I was able to put in. And that's something I learned playing sports, right? And so that's the thing that I want, because I don't want to one day, now I have a 25-year-old still living, a 30-year-old still living at home, and you didn't learn it. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things that then he's kicking himself, because everybody's journey is going to end, right? We talk about this. I don't care.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid's journey is going to end one day. It does. I mean, the
music
greatest
always stops.
And
Yes.
not to the guys that get drafted in the 7th round or 6th round in any one of their sports.
Yep.
And maybe they make it to the minors. Maybe that's the one thing. You go, you lead your team in NCAA and goals and do stuff, and well, everybody can score in the NHL. And now I go to AHL and they need me to be a fighter. And you're like, what? You spend 3 years getting your face punched in, and you're like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I'm done. But if you knew that you gave everything all you had and you exhausted every opportunity, you walk away feeling my journey ended. It was good. But if you have those regrets that, hey, I didn't do this, and that's what I don't want him to do at the end of the day, for how hard he's worked already, right? Like, he's 13, man. You know how many times he's gotten up before school on his own accord at 4:30 to go on the skates? He's done that more than anybody. And I tell him all the time, I'm like, Ryan, you are a hard worker. You're a really hard worker. But there's somebody that's a hard worker, and there's somebody that's a dog. And there's still that dog that needs to be, that on it, right? And if somebody puts a task in front of you, you're willing to do it. But when are you willing to put that task in front of yourself and take care of that and do that yourself? That's the stuff that I'm trying to portray right now. And that's been a struggle for me.
Yeah, no, go ahead, James.
Yeah, no, I think we all, at least I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm trying to, because like you said, everybody's journey stops. And I tell Dominic all the time, I said, bud, the music just stops one day. I go, it stops, and you realize, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't, it just stops, right? And that's where your athletic career comes to a close. And you don't know when it's going to be. You don't know it's coming. It just all of a sudden stops, right? And then, and just like you said, I don't want my kid to have the regrets of, oh my God, if I had just shot a couple more pucks, if I just tried a little harder during this game, if I just tried a little harder during some of my power skates, right? We're all trying to teach a life lesson. I think we're also trying to insulate our kids a little bit and teach them the mistakes that we made, because we're trying to not have them make them.
Well, yeah,
right?
I tell Ryan all the time, I'm like, man, I have the answers to the test.
Yeah.
You just have to willing to do this, the study and stuff that you want to do. I mean, just because you have the answer to test, I mean, you still got to put the work in, right? That's,
That's right.
that's the hard thing. And again, but I understand it. They don't want to hear from their parent. It's so much easier to come from
anybody else. Yeah.
I was thinking about that because I grew up I was the only one in my family that was athletic, or at least had cared for sports, or, was an athlete in the house. And, my parents didn't grow up athletes. And so for them, like, it was really new to them. And, they liked to watch me play, but they didn't have like any type of like,
they didn't push you.
They didn't push me. No,
mine didn't either.
No. And, so all the pushing came from myself over time, and I did it sometimes more, sometimes less. But I can't imagine, honestly, how I would have responded if I had my dad talking to me the way I talk to my son. If I'm being totally honest with you. Now, again, that's all he knows, and I never had that, so it's like, I'm obviously making assumptions. But I guess really where I'm driving this is like the age at which it's going to be better received or less, or if it even makes a difference. Like there's a very valid argument saying plant the seed young, and you got to nurture it and water it and let it grow over time. It just doesn't happen overnight. So I get wanting to do it earlier, but I don't know. I mean, that's something I think about. Like, maybe I don't need to be as hard as I've been now. I can just hold back, and 2 years from now or whatever, maybe it's more appropriate for me to be harder on them. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question, because I have this conversation with my wife, because listen, my kid grows up in a house where everything's taken care of from him, right? He breaks $250 sticks. He has a new stick tomorrow, right? We were talking about the skates and all stuff, right? And I grew up in a household where we got food and bills help pay from our church, right? Like, certain months we had no electricity. Some months we did, right? My relationship with my parents was extremely volatile, right? Screaming, arguing, fighting all the time. And for me, I decided I was going to, so didn't have to listen to it. I'd go outside and put a fishing net up in my backyard, and I would throw a football a million times until I couldn't hear anybody do something. It was out of my house. And if that was the way it was going to get me out, that's what. And so when I talked to my wife, it's like, that was my conflict in life, right? And I told myself, hey, to be successful, my kids will take a vacation once a year, and they'll never know what a bill is, right? I far out exceeded anything I've ever really put to do, but my drive to get better was that I'd never have my family be in the situation that I grew up in. So that was my way of getting it. And that was a conflict. I always truly believe that, success typically comes from some type of conflict or something that goes wrong and you learn from it. I mean, not all the time, but, a lot of these success stories happen that way. And so for me, my son doesn't have much conflict. There's nothing, he doesn't worry about anything. So when I talk to my wife, I'm like, unfortunately at this point in time, I am that point of conflict, and I don't like to be it. I mean, I would love nothing more to than, every time he walks in the door and not worry about it and say yes to everything and do, but it's like, how can you? Like, so if I have to create that little bit of struggle for him right now and do it, and I tell him all the time, listen, you're going to be 21, 22. I'm going to be a completely different person to you, because at that point, you're a man. You're going to have to be able to spread your wings. You're going to have to learn how to take care of yourself. You're going to do stuff. And you want to come to me for advice at that point in time? No, but that's your life to leave. I have a couple more years for him. I say, he's 13. He wants to go to prep school, which he keeps talking about. Maybe 3 more years if he goes after. You got 5, 6 more years before they go to school, right? And we got a couple more years before these kids are away, and it goes quick. And so, like I said, for me, it's I don't know. It's just like this tightrope that I'm walking, trying to still be his best friend, trying to teach him to be a man, how to take care of his own responsibilities. But also, this is his life, his drive. And I'm passionate about his passion. hockey is not I never played, I never put skates on my feet. I just never, I did that. And I joke with him, and you want to talk about the biggest needle shot across his bow and that makes him lose his shit. I tell him all the time, say, hey, Rye, still got time. Most people that play Division I college football
don't start till high school.
They don't start till 9th and 10th grade, buddy. We still got 2 years.
Yep.
I'm not playing football. That was your sport. That's what you wanted. You know, so I mean, that's the thing I can get him with. I mean, you know, and part of it's truthful. It's like zing. I mean, but what I'm trying to tell him is like, I'm doing this for you, right? And at the end, that's the truth. I put every resource that I have, physically, emotionally, financially.
Yep.
You know, my wife and my daughter are the ones. I mean, we haven't seen them in 3.5 weeks now. My mother-in-law is always pissed because Ryan never comes on to Ocean City. And I had this conversation in the car. We landed in Toronto last night, and he was talking to his cousin and his sister, and like, we miss you. And he's like, yeah, I wish I was at the beach. You know, I kind of wish I was there because they're in Montauk right now. And he said, but he's like, it's fun up here. And I looked at him like, hey, bud, I'm nice. I'm like, you know, we don't have to do this all the time. You know, we can. I said, but if you say you want to go to these places that you want to go, unfortunately, there is sacrifices along the way. And Daddy will never get mad at you when you say, hey, I don't want to do this camp. I don't want to do this thing. I want to go to the beach. I want to go to I'll do it. He's like, no, I love doing this. This is what I do. I go, fine, that's good. I just, you're getting older, and I want you to understand. He's like, unfortunately, with success and things that you want to do, there are sacrifices to that. And you sacrifice time with your family. You sacrifice time. These kids don't have friends. His best friends are hockey players. He never goes to a birthday party at school or all this stuff. And those are sacrifices that he's making. So I know what he's made already, which is the reason why we push a little harder sometimes. Yeah. You know, but learning to pull back on it is it's hard.
It's a difficult
hard. I've been
part.
doing it, but it's been hard.
You know, it's funny. You mentioned your wife, and that was actually a question that I had for you. So I don't know about you boys, but, you know, when I watch my kid, I see things that my wife does not see. And it creates a little bit of an internal struggle sometimes in the house. Not so much anymore, but it used to. So for the hockey dads out there, Chris, you know, do you ever have like the struggle between you and the missus? You know, or even the struggle between you and Emma and Liz, you know, you're the other half of your family, because, you know, sometimes you're on the road and you don't get to see them and you're missing stuff.
I mean, listen, it's, of course, she's like, you know, when are you going to be home? You know, dinner. That's the normal stuff. But honestly, she loves it at a game, and she's the one that either I can't even stand by my wife at a game, because either I'm going to get into a fight with somebody because she's screaming at something going on, and then somebody's going to say something to her, and then I'm going to get, you know, knock that guy out, or she's either you're the best, and he feels so what's name, or you suck. And so there's times that she's, you know, she can get on his butt, but she's
hockey bombs it up.
Yes, she does. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He did play good. She goes, I go, why are you yelling at him? And she's like, you know what? Obviously, I don't know what I'm watching, so I'm just gonna.
That's the opposite of me and my wife.
And honestly, no, we're lucky enough, you know, in our relationship that we have that. You know, again, just like anything, 90% of the time we're on the same page. We both know how much he loves it. The hardest part, and we both talk about, is the time it's taken away from me and my daughter, because my wife, who's a New York City school teacher, she doesn't have the flexibility to get out of work and to take him to practices and do stuff. So when I can on the weekends, it's like, all right, you got Ryan, I'll go with Emma. But if not, it's just the way this makes both their lives easier, is the schedule that we worked out, and we talk about that. But my regret on this, and I'm very honest with Ryan about it, and I'm like, bud, I mean, when Daddy gets on you and he does these things, it's just because, like, you know, we spend so much time and effort on this, and we get taken away. Like, I could be home with Mom, I could be home with Emma, you know, we can go out to dinner, I could go watch Emma's flag game. You know, these are the things that I could do, and everybody wants these things for you that you want, but you know, so when we get frustrated, sometimes it's really not about you, right? It's like I said, this is the craziest fucking sport that I've ever, like, literally the thought about I do is like, we're talking about this because you're not, again, that's why I like the other sports, right? And it's like, you go watch the lacrosse game, he walks to practice, right? He walks to the pier from our house. and he gets to walk home from it, right? And basketball is at the local gym down the thing, and it's not driving an hour and a half to a practice every day. And a practice starts at 2:40 when he gets out, and we're not walking in the door to 10 o'clock at night. I mean, that's a normal practice day.
Yeah, it's a different animal. Totally different animal.
Totally different animal.
Yeah, no, it's true. And that's why I think we get nuts.
We got friends sleeping at our house. Like Liz, she's like, holy shit. We have literally other kids sleep at our house, basically bill it on the weekends. And our house has got taken over where we got kids sleeping, we have hockey bags, a million things coming in. And just the other day, because my wife, I thought was going to lose her shit at the end of last season. But now it's been like 2 months. She's like, oh, I miss my hockey family being here. Like you get to this point in time where it's like now these people have taken up, everybody else too. But like I said, this is where it's best. I keep saying it's like, he's going to get married one day, and these kids that we've had this journey with are going to be in his wedding. And hopefully my grandkids are going to call a couple of these kids uncle one day. Like that's the kind of stuff. And so I try to make him understand that. And again, he's a 13-year-old and it's hard and he doesn't understand. And
they will one day. One day they will.
So again, so it's hard because it's not always the nicest, easiest, conversation. So I'm personally, I'm struggling with that myself right now. Like that's my inner conflict that I'm dealing with at the moment is my relationship with him.
I think you're not alone. I deal with it too. Scott deals with it. I'm sure a lot of our listeners do. And if you're listening and you don't have that internal struggle, God bless you.
Yeah.
No, it's not easy. Well, listen, I mean, we touched on a lot of great stuff. I think a part 3 is probably in order, Chris, and we'll definitely love to have you come back on the pod closer.
Part 3 is about how your podcast got started because we started a damn hockey team.
The prequel.
Yes, we did. Yeah,
I'm gonna get some popcorn myself and listen because I'm sure I only know bits and pieces. So
you have no idea.
Well, it's about a 2,000-page book.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that Chris and I aren't divorced at this moment in time because our wives had every reason to while we were doing that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, what you guys built is clearly working well, and best of luck to those kids. To Ryan. I know obviously it's a little while before the season gets started, but look, keep on keeping on a day at a time. And listen, one thing that I'm sure we can all also say is that the amount of time we spend with our kids, granted it's challenging at times, but I think that's another thing that's really amazing, that when we look back on this, the amount of time you've spent with Ryan or Dom, James, like in the cars and at hotels, it's not, I mean, there's a lot of good there too. Right.
Yes.
So
I tell my man, one of my senior guys at work, I'm like, listen, I know I'm pretty young. I'm like, I got only a couple years left of my kids, and I do a good job working, fine. But I'm like, in a couple of years they'll be gone, and then I could throw myself back into work 100% of the time. But I only have these kids for a couple minutes time, and you're right. Being able to spend the amount of time I do with him is
it's a blessing. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome. So, we complain and bitch and moan, a lot of us, but you know what? It's awesome. It really is.
I say to you guys, enjoy the rest of your summer, the couple weeks we have left, because
Likewise.
The real shit begins in a couple weeks, and then and we're not even in the real shit yet, and that comes in a couple weeks. So enjoy your couple weeks you have off, and good luck to the beginning of the season to your kids.
Likewise, Chris. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, talk to you guys soon.
All right, and that concludes our part 2 with our buddy Chris Vollmer. I mean, the guy's he's awesome.
Yeah.
I
good
know
people.
Yes.
Good person.
Yes. Part 1 was awesome. Part 2, even better. So thank you, Chris, for coming on. We may even throw in a part 3, like we teased earlier, because the reception from 1 was so good. So we may even throw in a part 3. So stay tuned, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome stuff. And I'm really glad we're getting like the hang of this.
Yes.
Having people on to for interviews. It's
all you, buddy.
Awesome.
All you.
No, I don't mean that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's nice that we're starting to have like guests on the show and like they can share their experiences, and people can hear from not just you and I and other dads that are going through some stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. Chris actually called me yesterday, and I was talking to him, and I said that we always kind of plan to have dads on like this, We just wanted to kind of get our feet wet and figure out if there was anything here.
Yeah.
Right. So it took us 19 episodes to do that. Not terrible.
No,
you know?
no, we probably could have done it before, but it's all good.
Yeah, I think we probably could have, but you know what? It's fine. So we're going to keep, as long as you guys like it, we're going to keep having dads on to give their experiences, their trials, their tribulations, the goods, the bads, because I'm sure that somebody can relate to every single one of the stories that all these dads are going to tell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, no, if you guys like it, we'll keep bringing it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So, this week, your turn for a weekly rant. You did not leave me any code names. You did not give me any sort of heads up.
Nope.
So I can't even guess at a code name.
Okay, you ready?
I am.
So the thing that's been driving me nuts, okay, and I'm getting text messages from other parents about it. Okay. So this happens to be like team specific for our club. But I can guarantee you that this is a thing. Now we did an episode, I want to say it was in the first 5 or 7 that was talking about how to carry yourself when you're a new parent on a new team.
Someone didn't listen, huh?
Scott, the new parents, not all, but a handful of the new parents on our new team are blowing up. They're blowing up our team thread.
Yeah.
Okay. Our team chat, asking about like hotels and when the practice schedule comes out and where we're staying and what weekends and, do we have off ice and do we have on ice? It's fucking July. It's July. It's fucking early to mid-July.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Just stop. It's fucking July. That's my rant. Fucking July.
Fucking July. Well, listen.
And can I tell you?
Yeah.
None of the seasoned parents answer. It's crickets. Nobody answers.
There's been a lot of, but I'm not disagreeing with this, and I'm not saying I totally get it, because there's some of that also on
July.
yes, but
July.
the only but to this is, do these hotels have to do with the showcase that's in August?
Yeah, like August 28th.
Okay.
July. It's fucking July.
It is July. Listen, I'm
like,
not going to disagree with that.
And this has been going on for a while. So here we are, like July, getting toward the end of July. It's been going on since like early July.
Yeah.
Like early July.
Listen, people are excited. They're enthusiastic.
July.
They're excited.
Most kids are playing other sports. Most people are on vacation. It's July.
Yes.
Relax.
So okay. So, Mr. Former team manager,
boy.
You want to say no team snapping, no text messaging until August?
Our team manager, which is not me because I don't want to do it. Our team manager is radio silent.
What?
Our team manager is radio silent.
But isn't the maybe that's part of the problem? Maybe if that person wasn't silent and addressed the questions, there wouldn't be so much back and forth.
His kid's playing another sport right now. Most kids are playing another sport. Most people are on vacation. Talk to me in like mid-August, right? Like come back in mid-August and ask what hotel's that. Like, right? I mean, am I wrong? This is my rant.
No.
This is what I'm complaining about.
I no, listen, I think that there's
it's July.
There's substance there, no doubt. I do think that some of the things that they might be asking about might be valid, but I do understand how I've all of it out of the blue had like 50 something messages in like the team thing, and I scroll through it and I'm like, I don't think we need to have so much conversation about this, but I don't know.
So that's my rant.
Dude, listen, there's no doubt that there are plenty of Team Snap, Game Changer, Sports Engine, Crossbar, whatever accounts where like people are just like way too into it.
Yes.
I get it.
And most people
get
don't answer. Like it's like crickets. And the funny part about it is they go back and they go, "Oh, in case you didn't hear me before," they ask a quick question.
Just bubbling this up to the surface, to the top.
Right.
Oh man.
So that's my hockey rant for this
Listen,
week.
I bet you come November, you'll be able to say, you know, that parent that I was talking about in the beginning, they're really great.
No. I'm sure they're lovely. Don't get me wrong, but it's July.
Yeah, I hear
It's
you.
July.
Well, listen, then shame on you for looking at it.
I didn't look at it. I don't look at it. My wife tells me. Scott, I'm getting text messages from other parents going, "Why are these parents doing it?" That's how I find out.
I don't know.
Dude, I don't look at Team Snap ever.
Oh.
I don't. I
it's
never
like
do.
a badge of honor.
No, I don't have the notifications turned on.
Yeah.
Unless my wife tells me, I don't even see it.
That's interesting. I never. Yeah, I definitely have them on.
Let's put it this way: I have not snapped in to the mini camp that's in like late August yet.
Oh, you mean like signaled your attendance?
My availability.
Your availability.
Yeah. Again,
okay.
It's summertime. It's July. I know I sound like such an asshole, but it's July.
No, dude, I hear you. It's vacation time, and some people just don't have the bandwidth for unnecessary hockey talk.
Speaking of, that's what we do all the time, unnecessary hockey talk.
That's just true. Anyhow.
And we have a lot of followers for unnecessary hockey talk, so go figure.
Well, I mean, I think that, yeah, I guess. I mean,
listen, there's a difference in what we're doing and that.
Of course. I don't think I certainly, if I gave the impression I was trying to say that they were the same, I definitely didn't mean that. I think in any event, moving on, sir.
Any event. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, again, just before I forget, want to once again just call out partners, Howie's Hockey, use Crazy 10 discount code 10. Pro Stride Elite, CHD 10, and
Angelo
then API. Yep. Athletic Performance Insight, check them out, and mention Crazy Hockey Dads, and you too will get a 10% off of your season subscription.
Yep. So season's coming close. Go get yourself some Howie's Hockey gear. Yep. I just bought, I think I was mentioning I bought laces. I bought another set of laces because I bought the wrong size. So I had to go back and buy more laces, right? The laces I bought were too big. I had to go back and get more. And as the season nears, I need to gear up with tape.
Yeah.
You need a lot of tape.
Yeah, you definitely need a lot of tape. But just talking about API, sorry to, Howie's get tape, but I think Eric, we might have him on as our next guest.
Well, we're doing him next? Okay, cool.
Potentially. So that might be for our episode 22. We just need to figure out scheduling, but he's got a kid that's played
goalie, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Out in the Ohio area, went between AA and AAA, and then Eric's got a unique perspective, I think with his business, and that like they're breaking down film of all different age groups, and I don't know how much of a deep dive he's done necessarily on any age specific stats. That's a good question to ask him, but he's seen plenty of hockey from his own kids to from his own business. So it'd be interesting to hear kind of what his takes are on some of this, so
I'm curious. He probably has some great stories from dealing with people. Cause he's kind of in the industry of the youth hockey space. So I'm really curious to kind of pick his brain a little bit.
Yeah, so he might say it, but when I was on the phone with him the other day, I was like, yeah, it's just like, free form, just we can talk about whatever. He's like, oh, I should talk about this one coach that I had who was tagging all the games himself, and he was putting in way too much detail. I've never seen anyone try talking about me. And I was like, okay, sure. Thanks. Yeah, I did have a moment trying to put in way too much detail.
Now I really want to talk to him even more than I did before.
Yeah. Anyhow, so those were our partners. Anything else?
We have a lot of really cool stuff coming up. We have Eric from API. We're going to have our part 3 possibly with Vollmer. As long as you guys, I think you guys will like that because you guys loved 1 so much. You guys are going to love 2, or you loved 2. And then we're going to do 3 And then we have Angelo Surse coming on, right? I'm trying to think what else we have coming on. What else
And
we
Kirk.
have?
We also
We have Kirk from Ontario, our
Yeah,
buddy
reach out
Kirk
to
from
him.
Ontario. We're really cranking up as the season draws near. So,
Yep.
we got a lot of really cool things planned. And then we're also working on a project that may be a little farther off in the future, but we have something really, really fun for you guys down the road.
Yeah.
A project of ours.
Yes, sir.
Coming soon.
That's
Coming
it.
soon. Yes. So,
Um,
all right, bud. Good
all right,
stuff.
I think that's it. Awesome
All right.
stuff.
Listen, always a pleasure. I'm going back to the beach.
Enjoy
I will
it,
see you
dude.
guys later. See
All
you,
right.
bud.
Peace
Later.
out. Later.
Bye.